Hello everyone, Don here with the update progress report on the Corsair testing, War Corsair that is. For anybody new to this channel, I'm still getting replies where people are asking, questions, referring to an RC model airplane. If they go back through my older videos, they'll find out, that it is not an RC model. It's a 1/2 scale replica, and it's a certified aircraft and numbered, registered with the FAA, and it's now legal to fly. And I've just been in the taxi phase testing of the aircraft. My last video was a few weeks ago, I guess, and you'd seen I had wrapped my exhaust with the blanket and then had a wrap, and then I pulled the oil pan and resealed it. And so I've been out now for about 0.8 hours just taxiing around today. There is a breeze blowing now, the windsock, and it's pretty much a 90-degree crosswind out of the north. I had it down on the west end of the field, and down there the winds must be a little more turbulent because it was causing me to start to, a little bit of fishtailing, and it's just a little too uncomfortable trying to steer this thing yet. I think one of my problems is my springs in the back. I'm going to try a little stiffer spring because when you push on the pedals, the rudder will deflect, but the wheel lags behind a little bit until the spring can easily push over the tail wheel. But what I was trying to do today was I wanted to get the camera mounted on the airplane. So I dug around, found some parts of a camera mount I had, and I was looking to kind of attach it right here. And then set the camera here, but the problem is the camera sets too high and it just wants to drop down, and I don't think it's going to stay on there very well. What I need to do is make some kind of attachment and grab a hold of this railing like over there. It actually hooks up underneath, this piece does, but if I can get something to maybe clamp better onto that, I'd feel more comfortable, and maybe using my smaller Sony cam, which is only about that big around, might work a little better. The reason you haven't heard from me was 2 weeks ago, up and down the whole East Coast, I'm pretty sure it was, the temperatures were well into the 90s. It was, humidity was 85% plus. It was absolutely miserable for almost a week straight, starting with from like Saturday, Sunday, right through the week. By the end of the following week, which would have been last weekend, the temperatures had finally dropped down and were comfortable again. So I didn't make it out 2 weeks ago just because it was too stinking hot, and density altitude would have been absolutely miserable. The airplane would definitely not perform well in that density altitude. So I didn't bother. Did some work around the house. And then last weekend, it was a real nice weekend, just like this weekend. The whole weekend was supposed to be nice, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I decided to get some work done around the house. I had to finish my shed. I never finished building the shed or finishing the trim everything on the shed that I put the airplane in over the winter. So I finally got out and got the shed painted. That was last Saturday, and then Sunday I pulled out all the trim pieces that are all pre-cut, and I've already got them primed up with primer, and then I went ahead and painted those on Sunday. And then Monday I decided, okay, it's a nice day, I'm going to come down to the airfield. And then in the meantime, I remembered every time I come down here I keep forgetting that I want to bring my trailer to pick up my cherry picker. The cherry picker was clear over in that big hangar back, back over in there is a hangar where I kept the cherry picker at the flight school. So I keep forgetting to bring the trailer, so I went out, hooked the trailer up, grabbed some tie downs, threw everything in the trunk, grabbed the camera, grabbed the tripod, took off to come down here, got halfway down here, and then I realized I forgot the damn key for the airplane. So I couldn't come down here and do anything, and I wasn't going to turn around, because it's a 45-minute drive down here, and I was over halfway here. So I said, screw it, I'll come back Tuesday. So I loaded up the trailer, talked to the flight school owner, Greg, and ended up going back home. So then Tuesday comes, and I take the dog out in the morning for his normal walk, and it was overcast, and it was drizzly, sprinkly, and I figured, maybe it'll blow by, because they weren't calling for hardly any kind of rain. So I waited and waited for an hour or two, and then it finally stopped drizzling, looked like it was clearing up pretty good, so I jumped in the car, this time with the key, took off, headed for the airport again, got over halfway, 3/4 of the way down here, started raining. And it was light drizzle, and then it turned to enough rain that I had to turn the wipers on. By the time I got here, it was just straight rain, just a really light, straight down rain, not a breath of wind to be found. So So I hung down here for an hour and it never stopped raining. It rained the whole time I was waiting. But what I did do is I did get a new registration card for the airplane. Turns out the FAA has increased the registration time to 7 years now. So they were sending out all new registrations for any aircraft that is currently active registration. So I came over to the airport, and again, it's still raining, so I swapped out the card and closed it up and then took off and came back home. So that brings me back till today now. So the main thing was I needed to get down here and run the engine to see if the new header wrap was going to burn off before. The last one smoked pretty good. This one didn't smoke at all. You could smell it just a little bit for the first few minutes and then nothing. And then I wanted to run it long enough, hard enough to see if it was going to leak. So far I don't see a drop of oil anywhere, so it's looking positive, folks. So, but I did manage to get it out. I wanted to get out the tripod and set up, but you're really not going to be able to see anything because the airport kind of goes downhill, and if you get all the way down the end of the runway, it's a mile away. I don't have anybody here to work. I mean, this place is dead. There's nobody here. There's a few planes coming and going, but nobody here. So, and then again, I wanted to get a camera on there so you could see me from the cockpit area. But like I said, I got 0.8 hours in today running around, and it's another positive thing is I seen the temperature had got up to about 190, and then as I went down the runway just doing 30, I got up to about 40 at one point. And the next time I looked at the temperature, it was all the way down into like 185. So it seems to be doing well, and the temperature is cool today. It's not even 70 degrees, but so that's kind of what happened. Last 2 weeks were washed. This last week was, I just screwed up, forgot the key, and then it rained Tuesday, and then weekend I did more, and I still got to finish the shed. I still have to put a second coat on the trim and then nail it all on, put the steel trim on the gable end from the metal roofing around the face of the gable end, and then the shed will be done again, put the hinges back on. So that's what I do. I'll probably work on that again this weekend. They're calling for rain tomorrow, Sunday, so that's why I came down today to try and squeeze in a little bit of this. I'm not going to stay long because there's a local fair going on tonight, so I want to get to the fair, and I want to try to leave after 5, and let me see what time it is right now. I haven't even noticed. It's about 2:30. So again, it's a 45-minute drive home. But I'm still not happy with the tail wheel. There's times where it seems just fine. I'm getting more and more comfortable with the brake steering. That's turning out to be really nice. But that tail wheel steering to help me directional control on the runway, it's just you'll get going and it'll start going this way. You give it a little bit and then you try to correct it, and then it wants to get into a little bit of fishtail, especially down there. It must have hit me with some crosswind that it was zigzagging me around, but I wasn't doing 30 mile an hour at that point, and I just slowed her down and got on the brakes. But right now I'm still not happy with that tail wheel. I may end up buying a whole new tail wheel for it. I'm going to look around and see what's out there, but for now I'm just going to go with a heavier spring, and if I have to, I'll eliminate the damn springs altogether. They'll work without the springs, but I might be able to go with a shorter spring with less compression. It's just the very first quarter inch of compression. It's kind of soft, and the tail wheel takes a little bit to catch up, and it's just lagging a little bit. Would a locking tail wheel work better? Maybe. I don't know. But then you're going to have a brake steering the whole time, and if you're trying to do high-speed runs, you're not going to be using the brakes. So. Okay, folks, I'm going to go ahead and put the bird away for the day, call it a day, come back some other time, maybe, probably not tomorrow, they're calling for rain, Sunday, even Monday they're calling for rain, Tuesday, we'll see. If I can find me some springs to bring down and change out, I'll do that, and if it's, the weather is absolutely beautiful, but this damn little crosswind, like right now there's nothing, it just keeps coming and going, it comes and goes, and it's due right out of the north, so you can go east or west on the takeoffs. Doesn't really matter. So, but next time I'm going to try and figure out a better way to mount the camera, so at least I can take the camera with me so you guys can get this kind of a point of view while I'm taxiing. Something like this. That's the goal. So, alright folks, as always, appreciate everyone taking the time to watch these videos, and again, thanks for all the likes and the comments. Feel free to leave any comments, questions, concerns. I'll answer them as they come along, and appreciate the comments as well. So, that's going to do it for maybe this week. I'll try and get this up tonight, maybe before or after I go to the fair. Depends on Might be able to get it before I go out tonight. So then I'll, if I do something else this week, beginning of the week, I'll post another video. You might get 2 for 1 this week. Okay, folks, I'll catch you again on the next one. So for now, this is Dino Done out.